Hello everyone, my name is Justice. Today I'm going to tell you guys the story about my first and last time I ever got scammed on Roblox. In the background is an Arsenal match, and then after that I'm probably going to add a Sword Fights in the Heights 4 kill streak. I would like to mention this all took place in 2012 when I got scammed, so it was a long time ago, but anyway, let's jump in. So Roblox decided to release limited items in 2009. I remember when they released them because one of my favorite hats, the Helm of the Great Tree, became unlimited. If you guys don't know, a lot of old items on Roblox that were off sale randomly became limited when limiteds were introduced, and Roblox continued for years to make old items limited, and then they would also release new items that had a stock that were limiteds. They were basically guaranteed to be limiteds. But for the first 3 years that there was limited items, there was no way to trade them. Trading didn't come until July of 2012. And I remember this is exactly when I came back to Roblox from, I'd quit back in 2010/2011. And I finally came back to Roblox in literally July of 2012 after they introduced trading, for that reason, because they introduced trading. And I was also getting back into building a bunch of games, and I had just started working on my adventure obstacle course and some other games. Anyway, I had hundreds of thousands of Robux worth of items, which was a lot back then. I was definitely a very rich boy. So when they introduced trading, I saw it as an opportunity for me to get one of my dream hats, the Crimson Cat's Eye. Crimson Cat's Eye is an old school limited an old school item that became a limited. That's a rare, beautiful hat. I wish I had it still. I would still trade for it if I could. I never have had it though. I've only had it, well, I guess I've had it once, but that's it. I didn't have it for too long. So I rejoined Roblox. It's July of 2012 and trading is now a thing. I remember one night I was chilling at my buddy's house, my old friend Ty Drill. You guys will remember him if you're an old school watcher of the channel. I was over at his house and I was building one of my games, and me and him were just kind of chilling all night. I was trying to get this trade done, and he was just chilling watching me because it was pretty exciting, and I had been trying to talk to a bunch of Crimson Cat's Eye owners to see if they would trade for it. And back then, since the trading system was brand spanking new, no one really knew what rares were. No one really knew what value items had. The wrap was just kind of the only thing you could go off of. And upgrading, I certainly had no idea what upgrading was. Basically, nowadays, if I had all these items, I would, instead of trading all 12 of them at once, I would upgrade the 12 items into 3 items. Then I'd have 3 items worth the same as the 12 items that I could trade in one single trade for the Cat's Eye. But I didn't know how to do that back then. I had no idea. I also thought that, if anyone was able to scam, Roblox would just give me my items back. Which is not far-fetched because Roblox does that today. You get I think you get 1 or 3 rollbacks now, but back then Roblox didn't give you any rollbacks. And so this guy in Tristan Nation told me that they'd be willing to give me the Cat's Eye for all 12 of my items, but they made me go first. It was some trick they did where they made me think that they were they had some reputation in the community. And so I did it. I sent them my 12 items and they accepted, and I never heard from them again. I emailed Roblox. They told me that they couldn't do anything. In fact, back then, not only did Roblox not do anything if you got scammed, but you got in trouble for getting scammed because in their eyes, you were breaking the rules of the trading system when you were trading 12 items in multiple trades for a single item. So basically, I got in trouble for it. I didn't get banned or anything, but they told me since it's your fault and you got in trouble, we can't do anything. The sad part about it is the fact that, and I'll show you guys, I actually have a video on my channel that I released in 2013 where I went over these old trades. You can literally see that this trade occurred 1 week after the trade system was introduced to Roblox. I lost Fuchsia Fantastique, which is one of a very high demand item. I lost the whole katana set. I was only missing 1 katana. I lost a Dark Presence, which is a rare, and it's worth a lot. It just sold for 170k, back in the end of April or the end of May. Back then, all of these items, they had a rough value of 230 to 250,000 Robux, which was a lot back then. Nowadays, it's roughly 550 to 600,000. So if I still had those items, I'd be nearly 600,000 Robux richer. It was rather unfortunate, but I learned from my mistake. I went on to trade and profit millions and millions of Robux from trading throughout the years. And essentially, I had to learn from getting scammed the first time, and I never got scammed again. That's kind of how it happens for a lot of people, not only on Roblox, but just on the internet in general when it comes to trading items and whatnot for various marketplaces. It seems like people get scammed once before they finally learn, and that's why scammers are a thing, because if 1 out of every 1,000 people fall for your scam, then it's worth it. It's worth them to scam. But yeah, so basically, I never trusted a single person ever again, not even friends. If I were you, I honestly would not put yourself into a position where you could get scammed. Losing all of your items is definitely not worth it compared to just having to grind some more time out to get your item the legitimate way. But yeah, there you go. And always go with your gut. I guess that'd be the advice and the moral of the story I give you guys. So that does it for this life story. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I also want to know if you guys have ever been scammed before. All of the links to like the web pages I've shown on the video will be in the description. Either way guys, stay safe, and I appreciate you watching once again.